All right. So on my last video, I ended up getting a bunch of comments and texts and DMs on the content and asking for more stuff, and just a lot of good feedback. So I thought I'd create another video. So let's continue on the idea of new car inventory and your strategy, your stocking strategies, right? So the first video talked about creating a template of what you want to stock, drilling down to model, trim level, price point, and color, and how many of those that you want to stock. So ideally, you've created this spreadsheet that's got every model that's available to you from your manufacturer. That's broken down by trim level. There's a price associated with each one of those. There should be some logical stair step to that pricing. And then you're going to break down each one of those trim levels to color, right? And so it might seem overwhelming or tedious, but just keep in mind you're investing millions of dollars in doing this and ordering cars. So it's pretty important. We spend more time on less expensive things and less expensive decisions than spending millions of dollars on new car inventory. So invest the time in it. And once you set this template up, that's really the hardest part. Then tweaking it later on becomes easier as you go along and you start to spot different trends. So assuming you've got this template set up, the next thing that happens is that you're ordering cars, or you get an allocation depending on your manufacturer, weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, however it happens. And so then you look at your entire pipeline. You don't want to look at just what's on the ground, look at what's in transit and what's waiting to get produced or in production, and fill your template based on that. So if you wanted to have 20% of a certain model and a certain trim level and a certain color, and you've only got 5% coming in, then you know you need to over order on those or over configure on those, and vice versa. If you're heavy on something else, then you know you need to back off of that for a while and see how you can reduce that inventory. So this is going to give you some great information on your overall pipeline, because you want a steady flow of the right vehicles coming in, so that they can go out just as fast. So so do that exercise every time you're doing an allocation, or getting some orders that you're having to do for that period, and find out where your opportunities are, where you might be heavy, and what you need to get rid of. Again, all going back to a day's supply, that is whatever that target that you want to hit in your store. So as you're doing this and you get into it after a few times, you'll notice that there's some cars that you're running out of, right? Could be a particular model, trim level, and color that you seem to keep running out of on the ground. And as fast as they come in, you're selling. So you know that you need to over order, right? Back off on some other colors, or maybe another model or trim somewhere else, and supplement with that one. And that's how you can really get that velocity going on your inventory. And again, we're creating this velocity by just having the right stuff on the shelves, right? We're not going by discounting. You're not having to go crazy in marketing something, or do anything out of this world. You're investing the time at the beginning to have the right cars in your inventory. And then you'll create this pull, right, where everybody wants your cars, and so you're going to get more traffic on your site, more traffic on the third parties looking at your cars, more leads that are going to be coming in, and everything's just going to start to fall into place, right? And that's when our business starts to become a little bit easier. So keep an eye on those levels and what you're running out of, what you're getting heavy on, right? There's going to be cars that you just misjudged. I've done this in the past where I thought a car was going to be great and I loved it, but the rest of the world didn't seem to love it. And so I had to back off on that car, and then figure out a way how to get it out of my inventory, and whether that was dealer trading them out, or wholesaling them to another dealer, or trying to just discount them and retail them out at a certain amount, spiffing them, marketing those vehicles, whatever it was. But you need to be constantly balancing that inventory. So some pitfalls that I want you to be looking out for. The first pitfall is don't keep this a secret. You don't want to operate in a vacuum. Let everybody know what you're doing, right? Let all the sales managers know. Let your inventory manager, if you have one, obviously let that guy know. Let your salespeople know, and then explain that you are creating this format, and you're creating it because you want to stock the fastest moving cars, and you want to make sure that you don't run out of the fastest moving cars in your inventory. So explain that so that they understand that you can't stock every car. There's not a way that you can stock every configuration that a manufacturer will produce. And if you do, it's not going to be efficient or effective for you. It's going to cost you a ton of money. The manufacturer is going to love you, but it's not going to be the best thing. And at the end of the day, the manufacturers want to sell as many cars as they can. So they'd actually rather you stock the fastest moving cars so that you can ask them for more cars and keep that pipeline rolling and increase sales. So let everybody know, let everybody understand, because you're going to get the salespeople that are asking, hey, boss, why don't I have the red car with the one option that you're never going to order that has the, whatever it is, right? This crazy configuration that this one customer came in asking for, but arm them so that they can understand and explain that to the customer and explain that, hey, we stock the fastest moving cars. These are the ones that are most popular. That's why we have them. That's good for you, because when it comes time to trade in this vehicle or it's time for you to sell it, you're going to get more money for your car because it's the popular one, not the one that is the oddball configuration that only a few people in the world would actually want. So be careful with that. Share the information. Let everybody know what it is that you're doing and why you're doing it. And then another pitfall is dealer trades. You'll get sales managers or other stores calling for your cars because now you've got the hottest cars. You've got the ones that everybody wants. They're the fastest moving cars. And so when that happens, then everybody's calling, and your sales manager, who's got a great relationship with another sales manager at another store, is going to get called, and they're going to say, hey, can I have one of those? Come on, you have 6 of them. I just need one. And yeah, I understand I have 6, but I have 6 for a reason, because I put in the time, I invested it, and now I don't want it to go to waste. And I'm going to give you one of these hot cars, and you're going to give me some dud that you ordered that you can't sell. So be careful. All right, this is going to be a tough part of managing your inventory, because you're going to have to say no sometimes. People are going to want your inventory and are going to pluck it, and you've got to be cautious. Don't waste all of the time or invest all of the time in creating this ideal inventory just to let a sales manager or inventory manager start to trade that stuff out and trade in all these funky cars that you don't want, that don't stock well or move well, right? You're going to bring those into your inventory. I guarantee you those are going to end up being aged units, and are going to be cars you're going to have to spiff, and are going to be the cars that are going to be left over when you do when you have your model year change come August, September, this time of the year. So anyway, hope this helps, and I'll keep these coming. Thanks.